So hello, I'm off school today, so I just decided to make a quick E-Honda basics tutorial. This is basically for people who are just starting out with him. So here we go. Right, so E-Honda is not as good as he was in Super Street Fighter 4, but better than he was in Arcade Edition. And he's still powerful, but he just has some really bad matchups and stuff. So, but he's really simple to play. So firstly, his normals. He's got lots of really good normals. So one of his most important ones is standing jab. And just look at that. Look at how far you can be. Look at how much range that has. And it's really good because it's really fast. So it'll stuff a lot of stuff. And you can also buffer in 100 hand slaps. Oops, not like that. Not like that. Like that. So if you manage to catch someone, you can, get that extra damage. And even if they block, you're still safe, and you do good chip damage, and you get a lot of meter. So his other normals are, well, there's standing jab, which doesn't have nearly as much range, but is really fast. This move, fast standing fierce, is really good. I mean, just as like a long range poke, and you can also do what Mike Ross did and buffer in Super, like that, and that does 520 damage, so it's pretty good. And it's also a really good anti-air, but we'll get onto that later. And close standing fierce can also be an anti-air. And his other really important normal move is standing roundhouse, because it hits low and Honda moves forward a lot, and it's got really good range, and that's just why you should use it. So if someone's walking towards you, you just shove that out and you do 100 damage. So carrying on with normals, okay, so specials. So E-Honda specials. The most important one, I think, is the 100 hand slap. You should probably watch another tutorial video to find out how to do the 100 hand slap, how to piano it or slide it. But I'm just going to my method is to piano, jab, strong, fierce, like that. So like that. You can see from my inputs, they're not perfect, but as long as there are 5 inputs and the last one is just a punch, it's fine. If you're doing it too fast, this will happen. That'll happen. You'll get EX, which is a bit of a waste of meter. You don't want to do that in a real match, so make sure you've got that down. You can also slide to get it out. I piano, but you can also slide it. It's a lot easier for some people to slide, and it's difficult to do if you don't have gloves or anything. But basically, you just get your finger with a glove on, and you slide. Now, probably the easiest way to slide is you do jab, strong, fierce, so like that, or whatever. Whoops, like that. And the thing that's so good about 100 hand slap is, well, you can buffer it into the jabs, like I showed you. It's completely safe on block, and you can follow it up with lots of things, but the most common thing is just standing roundhouse. It's so good because it does loads of chip damage on block. It does good damage on hit, especially when you add the enders like standing roundhouse. It builds loads of meter. Let me just show you how much meter it builds by doing. So, just do this. Oops. Oh, come on. Oh my god. Sorry. That's it. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I was just being a complete retard there. Okay, so I've got an empty super bar, but if I do 100 hand slaps, that's basically half a bar, and it does a lot on block as well, so really good for building meter. So you can also do it off a crouching medium kick, but that's really hard to start off with. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm just being an idiot. I don't ever do that. It's something I should learn to do. So yeah, that's 100 hand slaps. Anything else about them? Yeah, only ever do fierce 100 hand slaps. Just because, well, in AE 2012, you move forward further, and that makes it not whiff and lets you follow it up. I think with some characters you can do something like medium 100 hand slap into ultra or something, but I'm not going to get into that. So that's 100 hand slaps. Make sure you figure out how to do them. EX is only really useful for extended combos. Yeah, that's not really very basic. So his second most important move is headbutt. Now the light punch version goes a very short distance, with the best one to use to anti-air apart from the EX version. The medium punch version goes further, and the hard punch version goes full screen. And the hard punch version does more damage. So if you're trying to do a quick punish, and yeah, you can just do crouching medium kick into hard headbutt. What else about headbutts? Yeah, I'll get onto anti-airing later. So the thing about headbutts is you can do... Okay, whatever. His headbutts don't go through fireballs very well. I think like the medium one has a tiny bit of invincibility, but it's still, you can't really use it if you're like full screen and they're throwing fireballs. You can't really headbutt your way through. Apart from, they go through randomly. They go through some fireballs, like, let's just record. Okay, so for some reason all his headbutts go through Sagat's low tiger shot. Whoops. Like that. But none of them go through his high tiger shot. And I've only been experimenting a bit, but low tiger shot seems to be one of the only fireballs which headbutt goes through completely and well. That's headbutt, and don't just throw it out randomly, because, well, actually, against some characters there's not a bad way of doing things, because some characters like Ken and stuff, I don't think they can punish it on block, but a lot of characters can punish it. For example, Sagat can punish it with his Ultra 2, so don't just chuck it out. But if you're looking to chip someone to death, it's not a bad thing to do, because most people can't really react in time to do an uppercut, and if they just manage to do it, it'll probably trade or whatever. So, and you can see how much chip damage it does, which is a lot. So, 35. So that's his headbutt. Don't chuck it out randomly. I'll get onto its anti-airing purposes in a second. Only goes through some fireballs and does damage, good damage. So he's also got his Oichio throw, which has the light version has loads of range. That's just out of range. That's the maximum distance, I think. It doesn't have nearly as much range as the SPD, but it's still really good, and you can tick into it really easily. The EX version in 2012 got a stun increase, so I don't know, if you think they're near stun, maybe just do the EX version instead of doing like the hard version. And it also does 10 more damage than the hard version. So yeah, so as it works with all command grabs, light version has does the least damage but the most range, and hard version, heavy version, does the most damage but has the least range. So that whiffs, but that doesn't. Yeah, so I was talking, you can tick into them really easily. Doing a tick throw means you hit them, and whether they get hit or block, you pause and then do your throw, and this will catch people out. But if they're mashing uppercut or something, it won't work. So this is just basically how you do it. Just anything like that. So that's his Oichio throw. You can also do it off that stupid move, stupid overhead, but there's not really any point. Also, don't use this as a punish tool, just because it only does 180 damage, and all his other punishes do more damage. Things you can use it for, you can do things like, maybe if I just set Sagat to block. If you do 100 hand slaps, you can often dash in and get one there if they're playing really defensively, but only really do that once a match, because after that they'll start neutral jumping and punishing your whiffed Oichio throws. Okay, and also the thing about this is, if you land like a EX headbutt or just any headbutt, because it knocks down, to build some extra meter, just whiff one of those. Okay. Right, his other move is his butt slam. I don't really think there's any point to it, because the only thing it's good for, really, it seems, is just if someone's not really very good. After that, you just do the light version, and you can cross up with it, and then if someone's not very good, they'll just keep getting hit by it and stuff. So, but to be honest, don't really do it that much, just because, I don't know, it just seems a bit pointless. And if you're playing against a grappler, they can punish it. It's basically safe on block, apart from grapplers, but just there's not really much point in it to it. Oops. Well, there's not really much use for it that I can find. What else is there? His focus attack has pretty good range. Whoops. Yeah. And you can follow up with whatever you want. Yeah, it's got good range, but his dash isn't. Actually, his dash is alright. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so focus attack, use it if someone's throwing fireballs at you, full screen, and you don't really have anything else to do apart from build ultrameter. Just do that. Whoops. Oh. Like that. And you can also, you can't do with like some characters do, which is dash in, throw a fireball and throw or something, because Honda's dash isn't very fast. But you can just build your ultrameter. Right, so anti-airing, that's just called. Actually, air normals. I should talk about air normals. So when you're in the air, the best normals are neutral jump fierce is amazing because it beats loads of stuff, does loads of damage, and what you can do with it is after you press the button, you can actually move around in the air. Like, so I can, if Sagat does something here, I can go and just about reach him. So it's really, really good. His other jumping normals, that jump, neutral jump, heavy kick is used because it does the most damage of any air normal. What else does he have? Yeah, just forward jump. This is also really good. Just it seems to just beat a lot of stuff. Yeah, jumping medium kick is his cross up.